Hey everyone, so today's video is a really exciting one. I'm going to be talking about my top no-buy tips. So I did try to go on a no-buy when I first started my YouTube channel about 8 months ago, and it didn't really work for me. I just felt like I was too tempted by makeup products and I ended up breaking my no-buy. My mindset on consumerism has definitely changed a lot since starting Project Panning and starting my YouTube channel. I used to pretty much binge shop on makeup websites like NYX Cosmetics and e.l.f. because they were so cheap. So I went from that to a complete no-buy, and I think that was kind of a really big jump. So it didn't really work for me, but since getting into the sort of habit of actually using the makeup products I have in my collection, I have been able to stop myself from buying things that I know I don't really need, and I have been on a sort of unofficial no-buy for the past month or so, and I will be going on a, I guess you could say, official no-buy starting in January. I will film a whole video about that, so stay tuned for that video if you're interested. And I just wanted to share with you the no-buy tips that have really helped me and have really been successful for me. So let's just go ahead and get into the video. So the first tip that I have for you that really does help, but is also sometimes really hard, is to just stop looking at social media. Maybe unfollow some pages like the Trend Move pages that post all of the new releases and all that. That can really help with sort of not tempting yourself as much, so you're not seeing all those new releases, so you're not tempted by them as much. And I understand, like, you probably don't want to completely stop using Instagram and social media, but you can sort of filter your feed to be more curated to yourself and what you want to see. So instead of following all the pages that post about all the new releases, maybe follow some more Project Panning pages and things like that to help you get motivation and inspiration to use the products in your collection rather than looking at all of the new products. So that is one that is a little bit more difficult, but I think can definitely help. The next tip that I have that kind of goes along with that is when you see something that is tempting, think of similar products in your collection. So if you're really interested in a new release or any makeup product, really look at the shade of the product, what it is, and compare it to what specifically you already have in your collection, because especially eyeshadow palettes, at least for me, can be very, very, very tempting, and eyeshadow palettes is kind of the one category that I tend to overbuy, and I have so many of in my collection already. So pretty much any eyeshadow palette, especially if your collection is on the larger side, if you look at the specific colors in the palette, you can find dupes for almost every color already in your collection. So definitely I would recommend looking at your collection before buying something new. Also, if you're really tempted by something, physically go into your collection and pull out the products that are similar, pull out all the products that you think may be dupes, and use them in your everyday routine to try to feed your hunger for those specific shades or that specific product. Really use those products that could be considered dupes in your collection and use them in your everyday routine. So you might have an eyeshadow palette that is pretty much exactly the same as a new release that you're really interested in. So if you pull out that eyeshadow palette and actually use it, you might say, oh, I really love these colors, but I don't need to buy a new palette with all these colors in it. I have it right here, so I'm just going to continue to use this one that I really love and already own. And physically pulling out these products and using them can kind of satisfy that need for the new product. Really just going through your own collection and getting to know it better and really using everything that you have already in your collection instead of wanting to buy new products. Another thing, especially if you already do project pans, is think about how long it will actually take to use up that product. If there is a new blush that I'm really interested in, for instance, I know I already have 20 plus blushes, so I know that I don't really need it because, first of all, I have other blushes in my collection that I will end up using over it, and second of all, I'm never really gonna end up finishing any blushes in my collection. Blush is one of the hardest products, at least in my opinion, to go through, so I know I don't really need any more blushes because I already have so many options in my collection, and I know how long it takes to go through them. And you can apply this concept to really any product because no makeup product really is quick to go through unless it's like a primer or something you're using every single day consistently and maybe there's not much product in it. But powder products, especially like eyeshadows, blushes, bronzers, and highlights, they really take a really long time to go through, so it's not necessary to have so many of the same product in your collection. Also, like I said, you may have some dupes for shades, so definitely go back to your collection and really use what you already have. The next tip is sort of a question to ask yourself when you're really tempted by a product is, will it add value to my collection? Is it something that I don't already own? Something maybe like a cream bronzer. Maybe I don't have any cream bronzers, so okay, this may actually be a good purchase. And also think about what you like in your makeup. Maybe I don't like cream products and I never really reach for cream products, so why would I need to buy more? And also, especially when it comes to things like eyeshadow palettes, think, do I already have these colors in my collection? Or are these some more unique shades that I would really get use out of and really love to have in my collection? Things that I have found that I am missing in my collection. And also going through and using the products that you already have to figure out what it is that you really like, and kind of just curating your collection to your preferences also really helps with not being so tempted by new products. Something that kind of goes along with this is don't get sucked into the hype of new products and new releases. Maybe it is, for example, the new Huda Beauty palette. I believe it's called the Naughty palette, and it has that one shade that kind of disgusts some people but may look interesting to others. That is really just to pull you in, and of course it was really hyped up pretty much for just the texture of these shadows. And I've seen reviews and it doesn't look like anything special. They really just look pretty, and then once you dip into them, the prettiness kind of goes away. So my point is, don't get sucked into the hype of these products. And along with this, maybe create a wish list, which may not be the best thing to do if you're trying to not buy things, but it may also be helpful to create a wish list. And if you find something really tempting or something that you really want, add it to the wish list, but don't buy it right away. Wait a couple of months to see if your interest in it kind of goes away because the hype dies down, or if you just figure, oh, I already have something similar in my collection, or oh, I feel like I wouldn't really get much use out of this. Things that you buy impulsively obviously may not be the most smart choices and may not be products you actually end up liking. So I would definitely recommend creating a wish list and adding products you think you really want to it, and then going back to it a couple months later and kind of editing it and deleting some things that you are either not interested in anymore because the hype has died down, or you found other dupes in your collection. And I think this is a really good way to stop impulse purchases and to really think about consciously what you are buying and what you are bringing into your collection. Another thing that I've also talked about in a couple other videos is don't let the complete collection mentality get to you. So what I mean by this is, obviously brands come out with these collections and products. There are maybe 20 to 50 different shades in this one product. So if you find let's say a lipstick formula that you really love, and you have one shade that you love and use all the time, but it's easy to get sucked into that mentality that you need every single color or shade in that collection, in that specific formula, instead of wanting to complete the collection and buy every single shade in that one formula. Maybe buy one or two shades, and that's really all you need and really all you're realistically going to use, because it is pretty much impossible to use up more than 4 lipsticks, at least in like a year. So you're definitely not going to go through them very quickly, and especially if you have a couple shades, that can kind of satisfy your need to have all the shades if you just have a couple of the shades that you really, really love, and focus on enjoying those shades. Don't focus on what other shades you could buy. Don't go looking on websites and products you already own at all the different shades. Just really focus on your collection and what specifically you have in your collection and loving your collection. So that is something that I have definitely changed my sort of mentality on since starting Project Panning. I no longer feel the need to have every single shade of every single product that I love. I just really focus more on loving my collection rather than wanting to buy all the other new products out there and all the other shades of everything, because there is definitely so many options to choose from, and it also can get very overwhelming if you're looking at all the new releases and all the products that people are hyping up. And then my last tip, and something that I've kind of been mentioning throughout this video, is just to enjoy your collection. Obviously, I do YouTube videos like Shop My Stash and Project 10 Uses that help me to get usage out of my collection and really use what I already own. And you can do these projects, you don't have to document them. You can start an Instagram page if you want to, if you don't want to start a YouTube channel. If you have a beauty YouTube channel, definitely let me know down below in the comments, because I would love to check it out. If you want to start some of these projects, you definitely don't have to document it on any social media. I think it definitely can be helpful and motivating to start an Instagram page and to have people kind of cheering you on and to have that community. But you can also just do this on your own at home. So I feel like just using my collection and enjoying what I have has really helped me not be too tempted by new releases and hyped up products. So that is it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I do post new videos 2 to 3 times a week, so if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.